Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the LNBE Podcast, where LNBE stands for literally nothing but everything. I'm Mike Rispoli, and if you guys would be so kind, please feel free to check me out on my socials at the LNBE Pod on TikTok and Instagram, and also feel free to send me an email if you guys want to write in to lnbemedia@gmail.com. Also, thank you so much to everybody who continues to support the pod. If you could please also be so kind, if you could leave a review, write me up a comment, or do anything that helps boost this podcast, I would be so grateful for it, because the more action that you guys do behind the scenes is ultimately going to be the driving force to help boost this thing to the top. All right, let's get into this bitch. Unfortunately for you guys, I don't have any more restraining orders, so I don't have anything really fun to report about myself this week. Also, I did not get the audio recording of the hearing. So I can't really report anything on that from last week, again, because, like I said, last week, my lawyer said that if I was going to say anything about what happened in the hearing, I have to make sure that it's accurate, and I don't want to go just based off of memory, just for the sake that if what I say isn't correct, I don't want anything coming back to bite me in the ass. So even though today is not a part two will be done at some point in the near future once I get that recording. But I really got nothing going on this week. Guys, if you guys could just please reach out, because I need to live vicariously through you. I got nothing. The only thing I got going on that I can talk about is old news. I only got old sports stuff. So fair warning, this episode might be more hardcore sports, but it is what it is. First thing that we got to mention, we got to talk about the Yankees, man. I don't know what the hell. First of all, okay. The Yankees and the Dodgers, the two biggest money markets in the MLB. I think the MLB was trying to get those two teams in a World Series for the past at least 8 years, and it finally happened, and it was so anticlimactic. Oh, Mike, you're only saying that because your Yankees lost. No, I'm saying that because it was only a 5-game series. At least if it went to 6 or 7 games, it would have been a little bit more exciting. But 5 games? Come on. But also, some of the biggest names didn't show up. It's so funny. I keep seeing memes where it's like, shout out to Shohei Ohtani for being the first Asian person to be carried by the other members in the group project. But all right. Besides Shohei not showing up, you had Judge, who's probably the MVP of the season, and the dude just didn't show up. It's almost on par with trying to pick up a chick at the bar, promising her the best night of her life, and then you end up having whiskey dick. Because just like how that poor bastard couldn't rise to the occasion, neither did Judge. Nobody was rising for Judge. I think he only hit 1 home run, and it was only in the 5th game of the 1st inning of the entire series. Thank God for Stanton, because if it wasn't for Stanton, the Yankees don't even get to the World Series. That dude had a playoff masterpiece. And I know, I've given Stanton so much shit on prior episodes of this, but you know what? I'll be honest, I gotta give credit where credit is due. If it's not for Stanton, the Yankees don't win against the Royals or the Guardians. So, kudos to Stanton. Thank you, sir. But I don't know, man. When that first game went into extra innings, and they lost by maybe 1 or a couple runs or whatever it was, I was like, oh, maybe this is going to be... No, they ended up losing 6-3 because Freddie Freeman hit that home run at the bottom of the 10th or whatever it was, and that's how they lost that first game. So I'm thinking, oh, first game went into extra innings. This is going to be a competitive series. But then, I got to say, I knew it was over in Game 3. When Volpe got that base hit, Stanton's on second, and they waved him home. I swear to God, I probably could have walked that length faster than he ran it. You get a guy whose hamstrings are literally being held together with duct tape and rubber bands, and you decide, oh yeah, this guy's gonna make it. It was a shallow hit. He would have easily been safe at third. Another base hit would have easily gotten 2 runs, but no. What do? They wave him home like he's fucking E.T. Oh my God. And then in game 5, where they're up 5-0, they blow a 5-0 lead in a single inning. It was wild. It all started when Garrett Cole decides, oh, I don't know how to cover first base. Dude, I don't care where that ball's hit. Even if it's hit shallow, you run to first just for the off chance that Rizzo makes an error or something. And I was seeing some post-game conferences or some post-game interview or something where Rizzo was talking about that play. And he was like, oh, well, with the spin of the ball, I didn't know how to necessarily field it, so he kind of laid off on it. But either way, that ball, at least for me, it looked like it was coming straight at him. Who cares about the spin of the ball? It's just charge it. Once it's in your glove, it's in your glove. Charge the friggin' ball. But Cole should have covered that base. And then you have Judge not making a basic Little League play out in center by dropping the ball. Oh, why? Because out of the corner of his eye, he saw a base runner running. It's like, yeah, dude, that's usually what happens when you hit the fucking ball. The base runners go. But he took his eye off the ball, and that's baseball 101. You don't take your eye off the ball. He should have just gotten the easy out first instead of worrying about the runner. You make the catch, and then you make the throw. But he overthought it. So now you got guys in scoring position, and then Volpe has that basic ground out. Guy's running to third, and he flubs that throw. Now, that one I kind of have to give him a little credit for because the base runner was kind of in his way. But I don't know. It was just a bad series. It was bad base running. It was bad defense. And at the end of the day, too, the pitching, as I've bitched about earlier on this podcast, was their downfall. I mean, how is it that the Dodgers, in one of the postseason series, I can't remember which series it was, but they had a relief pitching game. Not a single starter played for them. And they were able to manage. I don't know, man. How are you going up against a team that doesn't have full starters and you still flub the game? Whatever. And now the Yankees are dealing with luxury tax issues. And we all know Juan Soto's not coming back because of the luxury tax. So again, why did they pick him up? Just for them to get to that spot and then just absolutely choke? I don't even know how much they ended up getting him for. But here's the issue. Now the Yankees got to deal with a $60 million luxury tax bill. And I keep hearing delusional Yankee fans just being like, oh, just keep the team and run it back. There's no way they're going to be able to run it back. Not with a $60 million luxury tax that they're going to have to pay. They picked up Juan Soto, God knows why, and he's looking for an additional $60 million now because he just went to a World Series. The dude's only 26 years old. He's a stud player. That's exactly what I think he would be worth. But the Yankees just simply can't afford him. So now I'm assuming he's probably going to be going to the Mets. I think that's a team that would probably pay for him. I mean, the Mets were this close to getting to the World Series if it wasn't for the Dodgers. But you got Aaron Judge, who's at $40 million. You got Garrett Cole, who's at $36 million. You got Giancarlo Stanton, who's at $32 million. Oh, and just because I looked it up, now I have the number in front of me. But Juan Soto was $31 million. Carlos Rodon is $27 million. And it's not like he was anything special, at least from what I saw when I saw him play. Like, where do the Yankees have this money to keep the same team? They don't. So I'm going to say it's going to take the Yankees at least another 3 to 5 years to get back to the World Series. And again, if they don't fix their pitching, because their pitching is ultimately what did them in, because it's a problem when everybody's getting hits off of you, but you're not getting hits off of anybody else. I mean, for all those bats that the Yankees had, none of them showed up. Except for Stanton, but as it's been proven, his base running is a liability. So, you know what? I don't even know. I don't know what to say about it. If anybody else has any opinions on it, please reach out, because every year the Yankees are looking to be a powerhouse. They're looking to be the next best thing, but they always just break your heart. And you know what I think is the most sad thing about all of this is I was watching some commentator talk about the Yankees, and he was saying how Judge had 58 home runs. He's the MVP of the season. And nobody's going to remember any of that. Nobody's going to remember how he hit a home run at his first at-bat in Game 5. Everybody's going to remember that he did not catch a catchable ball, and ultimately it was what caused the demise of the Yankees, because you could probably make the argument that if the series goes back to LA, the Yankees probably win another game, they make it a little close, but no. And what's even more heartbreaking, as a Yankee fan, they lost in New York. As a Yankees fan, you don't want to see the team lose at home. There is something about Yankee Stadium that is just like, I wouldn't say it's iconic because I don't want to sound like a generic Yankee fan, but there is something about Yankee Stadium and Yankee fans just having so much pride. You don't want to lose at home. And you know what's so funny is because I'm both a Yankees fan and a Patriots fan, and back when I was growing up, those teams were just powerhouses. Everybody was calling me a winner picker. I was a front rower, or XYZ, whatever you want to say. But when it comes to baseball and football, I'm no better than any of you unless you're a Dodgers fan or a Chiefs fan. So, I don't know. At this point, it is what it is. But speaking of football, one of the most glorious things that could have ever happened, Deshaun Watson got injured. And yeah, you know what? I am happy that the bastard got hurt, because fuck that guy. I've been bitching for how many weeks now that dude should not be playing on a football field, and God granted me this gift. And when he went down, everybody was talking about how the fact that Cleveland fans just booed him. And everybody was saying, oh, you don't boo a guy when he goes down. Well, you know what? Nobody was booing the fact that he got hurt. At least, all right, here's my take. I think everyone was booing for 3 reasons. One of the reasons was just for the fans to let out their frustrations towards him, because he was easily the 32nd worst quarterback in the NFL at the time. He burned the salary cap for the Browns, and he sucked harder than a mosquito. He single-handedly destroyed the Browns' chances of being a good football team, and then he got injured. So yeah, it was kind of like literal insult to injury. So they booed him. But you know what? I gotta say, I think it was a wrong reaction. Because honestly, I think they should have been cheering. Fans probably thought booing was probably a better taste than cheering, because, like, if it were me, I would have just been ecstatic to see him go down. I mean, he played 6 games last year. So even last season, they didn't get their money's worth out of him. Only for old man cannon Joe Flacco coming out and tearing it up for him. And he's the one who brought them to the playoffs, not Watson. They actually had to trade Flacco to avoid a starting QB controversy, because you guaranteed a rapist $230 million for him to not even play a full season. And when he does play, he sucks. And you weren't able to bench him for that reason, because you were paying him that much. That's why I think he was even starting to begin with. Because honestly, the Browns couldn't justify paying a guy like that just to have him sit on the bench. And also, it's guaranteed money. So even if they released him, they still would have had to give him like $90 million. Honestly, I just thought it was so great, and it serves the owner every right to have had that happen. To pay a serial rapist that amount of money just for him to also suck just proves that karma is real. And I honestly hope that this injury forces this dumbass into retirement. I really do. And then I remember Myles Garrett came out and he's like, oh, we don't boo guys who go down on the field. Oh, no? You don't want to boo a dude who single-handedly destroyed your salary cap while also playing as the worst starter in the league? We can't judge a dude for what he does off the field. Hey, Myles, you're going to support somebody who abused 20 times the amount of women than your team has wins right now? All right. Now, I'm actually willing to give Myles Garrett some of the benefit of the doubt here, considering his organization signed this guy, and he's playing for the team. And football's a very one-for-all mentality. So who knows, given the ownership, he could have been forced to say some shit like that. But then I saw this by who else but LeBron James. And he came out and he tweeted, Cleveland fans, y'all know how much we've been through throughout the years, both good, bad, and indifferent. With that being said, booing anyone that's down on an injury, let alone your own player, is lame AF. Alright, take note, Tua, because this is going to be you in 10 years talking fucking nonsense. Listen up, la bitch boy. You have no right to say shit about Cleveland fans because you left Cleveland in grandiose fashion to create, quote-unquote, the best NBA super team ever with the Heat because you couldn't win in Cleveland. You left those fans in the dust, and not only that, held press conferences on how great it was going to be, pretty much spitting on Cleveland, until Cleveland actually had a championship team, and then you came running back like a toxic ex, like, I'm back! And then you go to the Lakers, and nobody cared. You won a chip when they were under COVID rules. The bubble, I don't think anybody could really count. And notice how you didn't make the playoffs the year before and after the bubble? I don't know. Leave it up to LeBron James to come to Deshaun Watson's defense. Maybe they became friends at a couple Diddy parties. I don't know. I know nothing about any of this. But if anybody knows anything about Deshaun Watson, nobody should be criticizing those fans for honestly, like, if it were me, as I said, I would have been cheering the fact that he went down just for the simple fact of who the guy is. And also, I'm sorry, but if I'm anybody on Cleveland as a player, I also would be ecstatic that he was down because knowing the type of person that Deshaun Watson is, how would anybody, if the QB is the leader of your team, why would anybody want to play for this guy? How is anybody going to want to be led by somebody like this? You think if Larry Nassar decided to come out with his own gymnastics team that anybody would want to perform for him? Absolutely not. It's no different. I don't know, guys. I can't be the only one that thinks this way. Like, yeah, normally in typical circumstances, you never want to see a guy get injured. Like when Tua went down with that concussion, you never want to see a guy get hurt. But in a case like this, I'm glad he got hurt, and I'm glad I think it's his Achilles, and I'm hoping that it hinders his ability to come back. And if any team decides to pick him up, they are next going to be on my shit list. Because nobody should have this guy on their team. But all right, let's kind of talk some positives. So I know that the Patriots ended up losing this past Sunday. And I also know that they lost against the friggin' Titans, which, oh my God, that team just looks so bad. So the fact that the Patriots lost to the Titans, it just proves how bad the Patriots actually are. But I gotta say, I think the Patriots may have hit the lottery when it comes to Drake May because that dude looks so good. If the Patriots could actually get some actual offensive weapons and an actual offensive line, if Drake May is at the helm, I think that the Patriots could possibly be a dangerous team in the future. Because Drake May truly does have sparks of brilliance. I know this game was against the Titans, but for Drake May to make that throw to come back and make it a tie game at 17-17 with no seconds left on the clock, and for him to do all the scrambling, I mean, he's like almost like a lesser version of Josh Allen. I don't know if I want to go that far and say that, but I just did. I don't know, man. The dude plays physical. I just wish that he would learn how to slide instead of going head first. We don't need another Tua in the league. But if he could learn to protect himself a little bit more, the dude's got a fantastic arm. He's able to scramble. I think he would be a dangerous quarterback for a competent football team. But this Patriots team just has no weapons. And they have a head coach who clearly has no clue what he's doing at all. Like, that's where Robert Kraft is such an idiot. Mike Vrabel was very available. Why did he not even get interviewed for the job? But I also just gotta say, even though the Patriots are losing, I mean, they're keeping games close, but in general, the games that the Patriots are playing, their style of football, holy God, the Patriots are boring to watch. It is honestly like watching paint dry. Field goal, punt. Overall, they're just really sad to watch. But that's why I enjoy really watching the Lions. I mean, the Lions are the best team in football right now, by far. Never in a million years would I have ever thought that I would be saying that, but my God, is that team not only fun to watch, but they just have total command of the ball in all facets of the game. I mean, offense, defense, special teams, the Lions are truly dangerous. And I genuinely hope I get to see that team in a Super Bowl. And God knows that fan base is desperate to also see them in a Super Bowl. But alright guys, I think that does it for me today. I know it was all sports talk, but I'm still trying to catch up on the weeks that I missed, and I just had to get my thoughts out there. But if you guys like this episode, please share it with a friend. Please give me that 5-star rating to help boost this to the top, and also maybe write up a review and tell me what you guys think. And also feel free to write in at lnbemedia@gmail.com, and check me out on my socials at the LNBE Pod on Instagram and TikTok. I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and I will catch up with you guys on Friday.